Hi there. I'm excited today to talk to you about Pear Deck for remote learning. So hopefully you're familiar with Pear Deck, but if not, it is a pretty straightforward, easy to use Google Slides add-on that allows you to take a new or existing Google Slides presentation and make it interactive for students. So in a traditional classroom setting, normally you would work through the slides with your students, pausing for them to interact at certain points and kind of all go through it together. However, another option for Pear Deck and why we think it's great for remote learning is because of the student-paced mode. So student-paced is just that. It's an option for students to work at their own pace. So you can create your Pear Deck presentation, and when you go to present, you select student-paced mode. I'll show you how to do that later. And it will generate a link that you can share with students, and so they can access the presentation on their own time. So they can still interact with the content. You can deliver whatever content that you plan to. You can embed videos. You can have them respond to questions, analyze, synthesize, reflect, all on their own time and at their own pace. So this is a really great way to still provide lessons and content for students without having to do it at the same time, at the same place, which we know is a challenge now with this remote learning. So again, hopefully you are familiar with Pear Deck, but if not, you can create these interactive slides through Pear Deck, and the different options include text, multiple choice, number, website, a drawing slide, or drag and drop. Another great thing about Pear Deck is that they have a template library that they've developed that includes different slides that they've prepared. That could be for the beginning of the lesson, the end of the lesson. They also have some SEL slides that I think are really great to incorporate, and some content-specific slides as well that we can explore. So if you're not familiar with Pear Deck, it is just an add-on for Google Slides. So if you don't already have it, you would click this Get Add-ons and then search Pear Deck and install. I already have it, so I'm going to open it up. Okay, and when it opens, it's just that sidebar on the right side. So if I look through here, here's my template library. We can explore that in a minute. But here's kind of where Pear Deck lives. So these buttons, these text, choice, number, website, draw, and draggable, that's what allows you to create these interactive slides. So I can take any slide. Let's say I want to have my students draw their favorite food. It's kind of just a fun way to get them to open up at the beginning of a lesson. I would just hit draw over here, and then it's going to add this interactive question. And when it's done, you're going to see this bar at the bottom. That's how you know it is now a Pear Deck interactive slide, and students could draw anywhere on that slide. Okay, this one I want to make a text slide. They can respond however they like. It's adding and done. It's there. Okay. If I look in this template library, maybe I want to add something at the beginning of the lesson. What did you learn from your homework? I just click on that. And again, it's thinking, but it's going to add it in there for me. Once it's there, I can edit it as much or as little as I like. If I want it to just say that, great, it's done. It's already an interactive slide, so you don't have to go through and add that, and you're ready to move on. Okay. I do, again, really like these social emotional learning slides. They're great as just a quick way to check in with your students as you're delivering this content, as you're having them work through the slide deck. And they have some good ones in there. They also have content specific. So if I click on math, they have some nice number lines, graphs, etc. And you could explore that for your own content. So once I have my presentation built, how do I present it? Well, if this was a normal Google Slides presentation, you would probably click up here, this present button. However, since we want it to be Pear Deck, we're going to hit this start lesson. Now, Pear Deck has thought through this and they've made it really easy for us. They've realized that because of remote learning, most teachers are going to be doing student-paced lessons. So now as an option, when I click start lesson, it automatically gives me the choice of instructor paced or student paced, and we're obviously going to choose student paced. So when I click on that, it's going to load for a second, and then it's going to give me a link to to share with students. Makes it really easy for us. We can either copy this link or we can share to our classroom. Since most of us use Google Classroom, this is probably the easiest way. However, if you were using something else, all you have to do is copy this link and put it wherever you're sharing your information with your students. They don't have to log into Pear Deck first. They can follow this link and it will directly take them there to log in that way. Once you've shared the link, you're going to go to this teacher dashboard. This is kind of your home, and this is where you can see what students are doing. So I'm going to go to one that I already have open here. So once you do this, and it's in student pace modes, let's just add here. As long as I don't click this end button, this is going to stay open in student pace mode for as long as I want. So I can actually close this tab and it's going to stay open. Okay, so let's go to peardeck.com and I will show you how to access your slides. So you're going to log in, teacher login. It's going to ask you for your Google credentials, log in with your school account, and then you can go to sessions over here. And this is where all your sessions live. So I'm going to click this one. And if I click this teacher dashboard view, it's going to show me who's logged in, what their answers are. So look, I only had one student do this so far. That's okay. And when I get to a Pear Deck interactive slide, it shows me their answer. It shows me who did it, okay, and then what their answer is. Up at the top here, there's different ways you can sort your answers. So this layout is going to show you them all in a big slide like this. If I hit grid layout, it's going to show me all my answers as a smaller thumbnail. You can also overlay. So depending on what you were doing, if they had to draw something, or maybe this would be good for a draggable one where they're supposed to all drag to the same place, this will actually overlay every single answer. So it can get kind of crazy. But again, you can flip through and see this was a text response. Okay. And then I also mentioned you can actually enter a website that students can interact with. So I put in a Flipgrid code, and again, this is my teacher dashboard, so I will show you now what this looks like from a student view. So I put in a live Flipgrid code that I shared, and if I go to my student presentation, when I'm on that slide, so this was the one that I typed in, when I go to the website, it actually opens a live browser over here. So I can log in just like I would if I was using Flipgrid regularly, and I can interact with this website. I can record my video. I can do whatever I need to do actually inside my Pear Deck presentation. So it's a really great way because students don't have to take one link and go to another website. It can all live inside your Pear Deck. Okay. Another thing that I think is good to note about this, as this is just a Google Slides presentation, let's say I wanted to add a video. Either I've recorded something that I want to give to my students, or I just want to embed something from YouTube. I can do that just by searching the video here and hitting the select button. And that will show up. Kids can play it, again, through Pear Deck. They don't have to go to the YouTube site or to whatever site you're using. It can all live in there. So it's kind of just a way to keep things organized for students and have everything in one place. If you're having trouble with Pear Deck, again, feel free to ask myself, Steve Wick, Melissa Wilson, or there's lots of teachers throughout the different departments that are familiar with it. But on Pear Deck, they also have a lot of resources available. So they have built-in help videos, something as simple as getting started, making your Pear Deck, that are there for you. They also have a blog that has a lot of really great ideas. They update this fairly frequently, and it could just be a good way to get inspiration from somewhere that maybe something you didn't think of, something that they do. But yeah, it's an awesome way, and they have a lot of really great resources on this website. Again, of course, you can come talk to or email, reach out to Steve, Melissa, or I, and we would be happy to help. But there are a lot of resources available to you on your own as well. So that's about it for Pear Deck. If you have questions, we're here to help. Otherwise, good luck and happy remote learning.